18-year-old Derek Ward and his wife Terry Ward are suing Derek's daughter, 18-year-old student Tamika Ward, for an unpaid car loan, damages to the vehicle, and unpaid rent.
Order. All rise. Your Honor, this is case number 308 on the calendar in the matter of Ward versus Ward. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. and Mrs. Ward, this is your daughter?
Yes, it is.
Your daughter is now 18. You turned 18 in July?
Yes.
According to your complaint, sometime before your daughter was 18, you bought a car. The car was supposed to be her car. Is that right?
Yes.
And you claimed that she owes you money for the car, which was repossessed because she didn't make payments that she was supposed to.
Exactly.
Yes,
That she owes you for rent because she lived in your home after she turned 18 for a few months without paying you any rent.
Right.
And that she had an accident in the car causing some damage to the car.
Right.
Yes.
Let's start with the car. When was the car purchased?
March of last year.
And what was your arrangement with your daughter?
I purchased the car for her so she can go back and forth to school and to work.
So she was going to school.
Going to school and going to work also.
How did she do in school?
Basically, okay, C average.
Ever give you any trouble at home? I'm talking
No.
about trouble, drugs,
No,
alcohol,
definitely not. No, definitely.
arrests, nothing.
No.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it was one arrest. Shoplifting.
From a department store?
Targets, yes.
Okay. And nothing came of that, but that was the only problem that you had with her.
No, that was it.
So basically, she was a good kid.
Yeah.
Okay. So?
January, February, March, the car was not being paid on. You know, she always showed responsibility. She go ahead and pay the rent of the car and everything and show me the receipts. You know, and then sometimes I wouldn't even bother because long as the car, nobody called me and said, well, the car hasn't been paid on or anything, which I had never got no paperwork of that. So I just assumed everything was fine. And then all of a sudden one morning I was going to work in my own car and I went outside and the car was gone. So in the meantime, I had to go get a loan to get the car out of hock.
No, Your Honor, that's not true. She had the loan before the car got repossessed.
I'm still listening. Okay. So
Anyway, we asked my daughter when she was at the house, did she pay December, January, February? It was in March when we got the loan. She told us the receipt was in the car.
Okay.
The receipt was not in the car. Took the car out of hock. She was with us, brought the car home. Then the day of her graduation, I was dressed to go to her graduation. And she decided to get flipped with me.
what did she say?
I asked her what was taking them so long getting dressed so we could go to her graduation. She told me, it ain't none of your business what I'm doing right now. You just be calm and I know what I'm doing. I said, you're being late. I said, I asked y'all to do this 2 hours ago.
Your Honor, that's not true.
And
Just a second.
I said, you're staying in my house. I said, you're 17, you're almost graduating. I said, you're gonna make your mistakes here before you make it out in the street. So I can explain to you what's going on.
Tell me about the rent money that you want from your daughter.
Okay, the first time she left was on her graduation day. She left out the house.
In June.
Yeah. She went by my sister's house and stayed. My sister kicked out, and I told her to come back home. That's when I told her, when she come back home, she got to pay for rent.
Had she ever paid towards the rent before?
No, she haven't.
She never had to.
She ain't never had to. I ain't never made her pay rent.
That was
But
just-
since she was being flipped with her mouth and doing things saying she was grown and she could do this, she could do that, I felt that she needed to pay rent.
So that's the rent you're talking about. How many months did she live there?
1.
2.5.
Did she ever pay you any rent?
No.
No, she never
And
paid
tell me
me.
about the accident that she had.
Somebody sideswiped her.
Let me see the picture. Where is the damage to the car?
I have a
back.
picture of exactly what the damage
Can I
is
see?
right here.
Okay, thank you. That's the close-up of what you already have.
Were you in the car when somebody hit you?
I was in the car. I did not tell them they got sideswiped.
What happened?
I was driving, I was coming home from work on the freeway. This lady jumped in front of me, trying to get into my lane. I had to swerve and I hit the center divider of the freeway. I went home and I told her that I got in an accident. She didn't tell me, she told me not to go to the insurance company because our insurance would go up.
Tamika said
So
she
Tamika
was
said she was
going
gonna pay for it,
Yes, I did. But
and she never paid for it.
I
She got
wasn't-
mad again and left out the house again.
Okay, there we go. Did you agree to pay for the damage to the car?
I agreed to pay for the damage to the car when I had the car in my possession. When they took the car from me, when he kicked me out my second time, I said I wasn't going to pay for it because I didn't have the car.
Can I see the estimate for the damage, please?
Judge Judy, the only reason that she don't have the car because as of her birthday, it was agreed with me, herself, and the bank that she would actually pay $25 to get that car in her name. She wants the car without putting it in her name. I told her I can't do that. It's going against the bank and myself.
But yet she gives the car to my aunt.
I did not
And my
give-
aunt's driving the car.
Listen
around.
to me.
Somebody has to pay
Listen
it.
to me. You cannot make a contract with anyone under the age of 18. So the fact that you purchased this car when she was 17 and she agreed to make the payments on the car is not binding upon her. Even a parent can't make a contract with a child until they're 18 years old, until they reach their majority. With regard to rent, I never heard anybody say that your daughter agreed to pay you rent. You said if you're going to live in this house, you're going to pay rent. But in order for there to be a contract, there has to be an agreement as to the amount, that she says, yes, I will pay you rent. Do you have such an agreement?
Yes, I do,
Let
but
me
she
take a
never
look at
signed it.
I never
Well,
signed
if she
it.
never signed it, then you don't have an agreement. As far as the damage to the car is concerned, ordinarily I wouldn't give you the damage to the car except that your daughter acknowledges that she said, I will pay for the damage to the car.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Derek and Terry Ward say Derek's daughter, Tamika Ward, owes for a car loan, car damages, and unpaid rent. Tamika says her father is being unfair.
Do you have other children?
Yes,
How many other children do you have?
we have one son,
And how old is that child?
21.
Okay, where does that child live?
Fresno State.
Doesn't live with you.
No,
So this is the baby.
that's the baby.
What does your son do in Fresno State?
Plays football.
And what are you doing now, Miss Ward?
Nothing right now.
Who do you live with?
My aunt.
So you're back with the aunt?
Yeah.
Same aunt that you were living with before?
Yeah.
Can I ask
What?
something? I still want her, if she wants the car, it still says July the 15th she was supposed to, if she only has to pay $25, she can have the car.
She doesn't want the car. And if she wants the car, she can have the car.
She's
It's
been
not what to
crying
hear.
about it. She
That's
said
not.
that's the reason she's not working because she doesn't have the car.
No, the
so-
reason I'm not working was because I didn't have transportation getting back and forth to my job. I was living with my cousin. When he kicked me out, I was living in Rialto with my cousin. I had to go back and forth to work on the bus every day. I got off at 11 o'clock at night. The bus would stop running at 11. She wasn't going to come pick me up, and I had nowhere at home.
You seem like an intelligent young woman. Why aren't you in college?
All this stuff happened. I let everything go. But I'm going back. I wasn't going to stop, not go to school.
Yeah, you seem like a smart gal.
Yeah.
You seem like you should be doing something.
See, the problem is I was registered in school. I was living with them. I came back home to make matters good with him and her. I was living at home. I had got a job that day. The day he kicked me out, I was going to register for school. I had my registration fee. I had my loan taken care of and everything.
You filled out all the paperwork for that?
I filled out the paperwork because they said they would not do it.
She was a no-show. I co-signed for the application for her to go to college.
And
I called and couldn't find out she was a no-show, so
I was a
canceled.
no-show because I didn't have transportation.
Doesn't sound to me like you have a bad teenager.
No, she's not bad at all.
Sounds to me as if you have a young lady who has tremendous potential and who hasn't given you a lot of grief. She may have a little bit of a fresh mouth, if that's what you're complaining about, sir. These days, that's not such a tremendous big deal. She went to high school. She worked her way through high school. She got reasonable grades. She had enough of a job so that you felt comfortable about the fact that she was going to pay for a car loan. That sounds pretty reasonable to me. Not to you?
Sure it does.
Only one problem with that, she wasn't gonna pay for it.
She wasn't going to pay for what?
She wasn't paying for the car loan.
I was paying for that car for a year and a half
But you
straight.
did
No.
not pay the last car note, and lied and told me you did.
I didn't
You
pay the
just
last car note
don't
because I
fight
didn't
with
have
each
the car.
other. Let us say she didn't pay the last 2 months. She paid in May, she paid June, July, August, September, October, November. You say she didn't pay December, January, and February. Is that
was
right?
The first time.
She did not
Whatever, she paid something. I never had a child live with me that paid for a car that I got them.
Oh,
Never.
So she told me.
Not when they were 17.
let me talk.
Go ahead.
Not when they were 18. Not when they're 30. What? So I don't know what you're complaining about your 17-year-old. You're being too hard on her. She looks like a very sweet girl.
Well,
Listen to me. Objectively. We're talking objectively. You tell me, stop playing with your papers, Mr. Ward. Lighten up a little bit. You say you have a 17-year-old daughter who graduated high school on time, and because of some misunderstanding the day of graduation, you didn't go, which was wrong thing for you to do. I mean, if you get angry, you take a deep breath, and you show up at graduation. You don't not go to your daughter's graduation from high school. Did you go?
Yeah, I went.
And who else? And who was there for you?
My boyfriend's family was here.
I wasn't
The only
there.
reason why she went because she said she had to get a program to show her job. Because she took that day off.
No. I'm sure that she went because, listen to me, I'm sure she went because she wanted to go. Your father's more of a, he comes from the old school. There's nothing wrong with the old school, Mr. Ward. It worked for a lot of people for a lot of generations. This is my house. As long as you live in my house, I own the air you breathe. You follow my rules. You act respectfully. That's all wonderful. Somehow, in today's times, that it's not always as perfect as that. And in the scheme of things, believe me, in the 25 years that I was in the family court system, I've seen a lot of kids. And there were a lot of parents out there who would give their eye teeth for a daughter who went to high school, acted responsibly, had a job after school, probably paid for her own clothes and paid for her own stuff, because that's what you work for when you spending money usually. And in addition to that, she helped contribute to her own transportation to get herself to school for a while, even if it was just for 8 months. And she paid for the insurance, even if it was just for 8 months.
can I say something?
Sure, Mr. Ward.
Okay, you saying that she's a nice kid. That's my child, true enough. I'm not bad on her, but there's things that I expect her to respect me on. Number one, she got a job. She didn't pay for everything you said. She might have paid for the car. Half the time, she didn't have enough money to pay for the insurance. I had to come out my pocket. When she wanted clothes, I had to come out my pocket. When she wanted food to eat, they had to come out my pocket.
That's your job.
That's my job. That's my job. But
that's
after she
your job.
turned 18, that was not my job.
I was only
that's-
staying with you for a month.
No,
after I
that's
was
your
18.
job. Listen
After
to
she
me.
turned 18, that is not my job.
And I was
That's
paying
the
for
law
my
here.
own food.
No, listen to me. While she was working and before she turned 18, it was your job to provide for your daughter everything that you possibly could.
Before she turned 18, true.
Well, that may be, sir. I don't know what magic thing goes off in your head when a child celebrates their 18th birthday and they blow out the candles and you say,
Well,
finished.
that's what
Finished.
Let me explain
Well,
to
Mr.
you.
Ward, I don't know.
Until you live in my house, you won't know.
I don't want to live in your house, Mr. Ward.
I wouldn't want you there.
I don't want to live in your house, and I guarantee you my children wouldn't want to live in your house, and his children wouldn't want to live in your house. I don't know.
Your rules in your house is your rules.
Absolutely right, Mr.
So my
Ward.
rules in my house is my rules.
And I understand that, and I appreciate that.
At least
but as a parent,
my child, as me being a parent, I haven't raised no kid to be a gangbanger or anything else.
and you did very well with her,
No, I have not.
but you did.
Because the time is now. The law changed so much that kids right now, instead of listening to their parents, they listen to people in the street.
It is not a perfect world, sir.
I didn't say it was.
You're not paying attention.
I am paying attention.
It's not a perfect world. Children are different now. They are exposed to different stimuli. But we look at children, if I look at children objectively, and I look at your daughter objectively, she was a reasonably responsible teenager.
No.
You didn't have to take her out of rehab and put her back
Yes,
every
but-
other Tuesday and Thursday.
I never been in no rehab.
Let's put it like this here. I had to take her from different places. One was from jail.
You mean when she
That was
shoplifted?
When I shoplifted.
Because
that's
she
it.
was told before she did it, don't do it.
Just a second. I'm not talking about that, Mr. Ward. I'm talking about rehab.
You talking about somebody been going drinking or
No, I'm
drugs or
saying to
whatever?
you, kids get involved in a lot of things. Your daughter doesn't deserve any medals because she didn't, and because she seemed to have grown up well, probably because she lived in a household where there were rules. But she's not an irresponsible, off-the-wall teenager. And why you would sue her is something that is totally beyond me. To create a rift with your daughter over something like this is beyond me. You should be supporting her.
Okay,
In her, you should
How
be
can you
supporting
support
her
somebody
in
that
her.
spends all your money and don't
Your Honor,
appreciate
I've
what she
been
get?
working since I was 14. I've
No,
been
she
helping
hasn't.
them
That's
out
why I got you the
since
car,
I
'cause
was
you've been
14 years
working.
old. I was going to school, and in the summer I had to work. Okay, every year in high school I was working,
Okay.
and they're acting like I'm like just a bad person over here. I'm just telling you straight up. I had no time for nothing.
She's
Go
wrong.
to school and work. Pay their bills. I was paying all 3 cars insurance. When they
She's
lied and
wrong.
said it was just for my car.
Oh,
$265 just for 1 car.
For a month?
A month.
No, she wasn't. Her insurance was $200, and it was more than what she was paying. They bought it down. They bought it down because I put it on my insurance, and I put hers with mine. If she'd have went on her own, she'd have have to pay $277.
Just a second. This is getting interesting. Is what you're telling me, Mr. Ward, that because you put the insurance on this car on your combined policy,
Her insurance went down.
her insurance went down, but the amount that she was paying covered all 3 cars?
No.
Yes, it did.
Well,
I
how
can get
much
the
was the
policy.
insurance on your 2 cars?
The insurance for me was $84. Insurance for my wife, hers was a little bit lower, was either 69 or 64.
And mine was 160.
And
so
hers
if you add
was
all that up,
200.
that's 200 and something. There's
No.
no one would pay
No,
for
no.
almost $400, $500 a month
No,
for
no.
insurance.
That doesn't sound right to me.
Okay.
Somehow it doesn't sound right to me. I just changed my mind about this accident. You should have put it into your insurance.
Yeah, I should have bought
You
that.
should have put it into your insurance. If you had put it into your insurance, what did you have, a $500 deductible
Yeah,
or no deductible?
the $500 deductible.
Did you have the car fixed?
No.
no, I don't have the car.
She gave it to my aunt. My aunt's son is driving it back and forth to school now.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's all it. Other than
He
giving
gave
it
her-
back
Is that
to the
right?
bank.
Your aunt's son
No, my sister-in-law have it because I cannot afford that.
and another minor is driving the car?
Well, I
No,
didn't
No, he's not a
approve of
minor, he's a
that.
grown man.
How old is
But
He's 20.
I didn't approve of that. I told my sister.
I gave my sister
yeah,
the
he,
car.
while I
and
was
his
at work.
truck.
he? Just a second.
So now they're all
Just a second. Well, you're making a big mistake because a 20-year-old boy has more of a problem getting insurance than a 20-year-old girl. That I know because I've had both boys and girls. Boys are less responsible. So if you're letting your 20-year-old nephew, who is not a grown man, a 20-year-old male can hardly be described as a grown man, then that's a big mistake on your part. I don't think your daughter owes you anything. That's all. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may...
Is suing his ex-fiancée, Betty Sestala, for the return of an engagement ring and wedding band and unauthorized bank withdrawals. Betty is countersuing for the cost of an engagement necklace and for the return of her money.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 322 on the calendar in the matter of Pritchard versus Sestala. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
All right, the engagement didn't work out. Why can't you 2 folks just, put a period and get on with your lives? Any reason? You want your engagement/wedding ring set back.
Yes, ma'am.
And you claim that the defendant also took money out of a bank account.
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant wants her engagement necklace back that she gave you. She wants reimbursement for some jewelry that you pawned of hers. And she wants a return of money that she said she put in your joint bank account that you were supposed to be saving. Were you living together when you were engaged?
Yes, ma'am.
And when did you give her the engagement ring?
May 11th.
Tell me the circumstances around you giving her the engagement ring.
Was
it a surprise?
No, ma'am. She went with me and picked out the rings and helped
She
negotiate
went to the store
price.
with you.
That's correct.
So far, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me about this engagement necklace. When did you get that?
I believe it was in April.
It was May, actually, May 3rd, that I purchased the necklace.
May 3rd. But you gave it to him before you got your engagement ring.
Yes, ma'am. It was at the jewelry store that we were going to purchase my engagement ring at.
I want you to tell me the circumstances surrounding you giving him the necklace.
Okay. We had broke up at one point, and he had pawned my wedding band from my ex-husband, his gold chain, and a Texas ring of his. He told me when I got the stuff out of the pawn that for me to go ahead and give the gold chain of his to my eldest son. So that's what I did. So whenever we were looking at jewelry there at the jewelry...
So you got the jewelry out of the pawn shop.
Yes, ma'am.
How much was it to get the jewelry out of the pawn?
$180.
So you had all the pieces of jewelry in your possession.
Yes.
Do you still?
The only thing that I still have is the necklace.
What happened to the other property?
I gave it back to him.
Including your wedding band?
No, this is my wedding band from my ex-husband.
Well, so you kept that?
Right, because that was not from him. It wasn't his.
No, I understand that, but
okay.
you kept that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you kept the gold necklace?
Correct.
What kind of gold necklace is it?
It's a Figaro chain.
Can I see it, please?
And he told me to give it to my oldest son, Jeremy.
Okay.
So, in which I got it back from Jeremy.
Okay. Fine. Let's get to the necklace that you got him. Did you buy it on the day that you bought the engagement rings?
No, ma'am, because we went to another jewelry store and found something less expensive, and we purchased those, which was just a few days within one another.
How much did you pay for this necklace?
$525.
You have the receipt for it?
It's on the back of my check. They did it like if it was a credit card. And it's from North Lake Jewelers, which it says on the back.
Mm-hmm. And do you have the receipt from the engagement rings?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I see them, please? Okay. Where is the necklace?
It's at home.
You want your rings back? Your rings are clearly more expensive than the necklace.
Yes, ma'am.
So why don't you give her the necklace back and she'll give you the rings back?
Well, because it was not an engagement gift. It was a gift to replace...
A gift to replace what?
Part of her story's online, but the necklace part, I didn't tell her to give it to her son till after she had already gotten it out of pawn, and I knew it was in her possession at that time. She wasn't going to give it to me anyway.
Because you were fighting at that point?
That's correct.
Yeah.
But when we got back together, I did tell her, you know, I want my necklace because I was afraid she had given it to somebody else.
What did you do with the money that you pawned the stuff for?
I bought groceries and stuff for her and her kids.
Is that right?
No, I don't know when he pawned it or what he did with the money.
Let me ask you this question.
I don't know.
You were living together for a period of time, for this period of time, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you working? Working. And
At
you
that
tell me
moment?
where, for whom, and how much you were earning. So my question is, at the time you pawned the jewelry, were you employed?
I believe I was.
Believe
and
you were.
the reason I say is because it's been almost a year.
Well,
So-
I want you to think back. Think back.
I was
Pawned the
working.
jewelry?
Yeah, I was working as
For whom?
For the state of Texas. I was a boot camp drill instructor.
What were you earning?
I was earning $7.25 an hour.
How many children do you have?
I have 3.
Can't support yourself and 3 children on $7.25 an hour.
No, ma'am. My children live with their father
So it was just the 2 of you?
and his 2 children.
Ah. So was she in fact working as a drill instructor at that point, sir?
No, she had already quit, but her kids came for visitation. And at that weekend was in between my pay periods, and we didn't have any money. And all 3 of them came, and we needed some money.
Okay. What kind of work do you do, sir?
I'm a private investigator.
So if you want these rings back, and if you want to terminate this relationship in a most agreeable and less stressful manner as possible, why don't you just give her back the necklace? She's going to give you back the rings, and then we've resolved part of this lawsuit.
Because I like the necklace.
Is it worth more than $2,500?
No, ma'am.
That's what you paid for the rings. That sounds fair to me, doesn't it?
If you feel that, I don't.
I sure do. So you're going to give her back the necklace, and she's going to give you back the rings. Then we've taken care of that. Now let's talk about the money. You say she took some money out of a bank account?
Yes, ma'am.
$600?
$662, some in that neighborhood. Yes.
Tell
ma'am.
me about that.
Well, it's my bank account, and the only money that was in that bank account was money that people had written me checks for cars or something. No money of hers ever went in that bank account.
Was it a joint bank account?
I did put her on the bank account, that's correct. But when she left, I requested the ATM cards and the credit cards.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Curtis Pritchard says Ex-fiancée Betty Sestala refuses to give back his engagement ring and wedding band. Curtis also says Betty helped herself to his bank account.
I'll hear you.
Every week that I got paid, I gave Curtis my money. I worked from May 11th to August 9th.
3 months.
Yes, ma'am. I made $8,400. I didn't spend $8,000 in living expenses and stuff.
How much did you spend?
I don't know.
Well, how do I know?
Well, the reason that I say that is there's no way I could have possibly spent $8,000. I'm not a high-maintenance girl.
I don't know whether you are, whether you're not, but if you have a joint bank account and you're putting money in, and I assume you were putting money
No
in the
money
account?
went into the bank account.
What?
No, none of her pay ever went into the bank account.
Well, what happened with her $8,400? What happened with her $8,000?
She would get paid. She would give me some of her money, not all of it. She gave me some of her money. That's true.
Well, how much did she give you?
I couldn't be exactly sure, but you know, she's telling she gave me some of her money. But I mean, it would cost $600 to $800 every time she wanted to go visit her kids, hotel, food. She'd go shopping all the time.
So it would be a fair statement that you commingled your funds.
That's correct.
Is that a fair
Yes, ma'am.
statement? And you're not married.
That's correct.
No, he's divorced as of yesterday.
Well, but you're not married now.
No, ma'am.
You folks cannot expect to come to court and have somebody else unravel these very intricate financial woes that you managed to get yourself into. And what I said at the start of this case was, you're two people, you started a relationship, it didn't work out, why can't you just put a period and move on? You clearly spent money during that 3-month period.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know whether you went to visit your children like he says you did, and he has no proof of what you spent. So I would be doing a guest job, and I don't do guest jobs.
Your Honor, the day that he kicked me out, told me to get the F out, I left walking, and I went without a dime, without any clothes but what I had on my back.
Just a
A
second.
strange man picked me up on the side of the road, and
Listen to me. You don't get compensated for that. You've had an on-again, off-again with this man clearly for a long time.
and he's the one that's been the one that's made the money off of it because I don't have a dime because he has it all.
Next time you should know better.
I've also sent her money when she needed it. She called me, asked me. I've got MoneyGrams where I sent her money.
Let me say-
So I mean, it's not like she. This is in addition to that $600 she took. Plus, I just gave her $2,900 just a few days ago.
On the 1st of October of this year, did he send you $200?
Yes, ma'am.
What for?
For me to, I had my children that weekend. My son had a paintball competition,
And you
he
called
said-
him and asked him for money and he sent it.
No, I didn't call him. He called me.
So he called you when you said you needed money.
No, I didn't. He asked me if I needed any money.
Fine. So he sent you $200 on the 1st. Then I have another transfer here to you in September. The end of September for another $300. What was that for?
For just basic living expenses because I went there without a dime.
He's not responsible for you.
No, he's not. And he
He's
never
not
has
responsible.
been.
He's not a. He doesn't sound like a cad to me.
Well,
Did he
Your
give you?
Honor,
Did he give you other? Shh, did he give you other money just last week?
No.
Are you lying to me?
No, I'm not. I have no reason to lie about it.
I think you do. In any event, I'm going to cut the following order. Mr. Pritchard, listen to me, sir. You're going to part with that great necklace. You're going to give it back to her within 5 days, and she's going to part with the rings. You have one that you're wearing now.
That's the only one that I have.
Where's the other one?
He has it.
Take the ring off. Give it to Bird.
There's other things that you're not hearing that makes him not sound like such a cad. That's not it that I couldn't sue him for here. From where he borrowed $5,000 from me, and he sold the truck that he had gotten a loan on, and I've not got that. I got $600 of that, which I have the paperwork in my purse.
Mr. Pritchard, you want her son to have this necklace, or you want it back?
No, Jeremy can have it.
Give it back to her. You're to get the engagement necklace back to her.
Yes, ma'am.
Keep it simple. That's all.
Why is that excused? You may step out.
I don't think that it's right that a man can keep everything he earned.
Didn't go quite like I thought, but I believe she was fair.
He wasn't working, and there was no money, and I had to make a living.
We're both kind of hard-headed, I guess.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Adams versus Canham. Step forward, please.
18-year-old student Jennifer Adams is suing her former classmate, 17-year-old student Christy Canham, for breaking her ankle during a fight.
Miss Adams, according to your complaint, the defendant assaulted you, you were injured, you want to be compensated. That's what the case is about. How do you know her?
We went to grammar school and the high school together.
Where did this assault take place?
At Annie's house.
At this young lady's house?
Yeah.
When?
October 2nd, 2001.
What was the dispute about?
The dispute was over a CD, but there's more to it. In August of this year, we had a get-together also at Annie's house where everybody had gone in the house except for Christy and my fiance. And after everyone was inside, she said something to the extent of, fiance or not, I've had guys cheat on their girlfriends with me before.
Mm-hmm.
So he came in the house and he told me about it and didn't do anything about it at that time. We all went to bed and we hadn't seen each other really during this time from August to October when the incident happened. My CDs had been left at the restaurant where she works and somebody had gone through them.
You went to the restaurant where she works?
No.
Who left the CDs at the restaurant where she works?
Her little brother had my CDs, left them at the restaurant. Somebody went through them and took out a whole bunch of CDs, but she took one and took it to Hawaii with her.
So she had one of your CDs?
Yes.
Okay.
So I went out to Annie's on October 2nd.
What did you go to Annie's for?
Because we're friends.
Was she expecting you?
It was just we go out there all the time. Nobody expects anyone.
The defendant was there?
Yes.
Did you know the defendant was going to be
No.
there? So when you walked into the house, who was present?
Annie, Jimmy, and Stephanie.
Who's Stephanie?
And she's another friend of ours.
And the defendant?
Yes.
What happened when you got there?
When I got there, I walked in the door. Christy was standing on the opposite side of the room. I asked her where my CD was. She just kind of stood there looking at me. And I said, you heard me, where is my CD? She said, at my house. And I said, well, you better get it. And she asked why I was yelling at her. I said, because I didn't like her anyways, and her stealing my CD was the last straw. She asked me why I didn't like her. There was more arguing during this time, but when I said that I didn't like her, I said it was because she was a scandalous. And I went to walk into the kitchen, and I turned my back. She was sitting in a chair.
So she was sitting?
Yes, she was sitting. By this time, she was sitting.
Shh. Was she sitting at the time that you came in and started calling her names?
No.
She was standing?
Yes.
But then she sat down?
Yes.
Okay, so you're walking into another room, she's sitting?
Yes.
What happened next?
So I went to walk into the kitchen. I saw her out of the corner of my eye come at me. So I turned around. She went to hit me. I blocked her hit, put her in a headlock. So I had her in a headlock, and she was hitting me, and I was hitting her. She couldn't get away from me, so she turned me sideways, pushed me to the ground, snapping my ankle in 2 places. And Annie came over and pulled her off of me. When she did, Christy kicked me while I was on the ground. And then Annie helped me up. I walked into their computer room because that's where Stephanie was. It was about 10 feet. And Annie came in to see if I was all right, and I said, no, you need to take me to the emergency room. I can't walk. Jimmy came and picked me up and carried me to the car. While he was carrying me to the car, she was standing on the steps of the front of their house, yelling, you stupid, get back here, I'm gonna kick your ass. I couldn't even stand.
Mm-hmm.
So Jimmy puts me in the car, and we're going to the emergency room. I told Annie, I said, she hit me first. Annie goes, I know, but she's only 17.
She didn't hit you first. It's not what you just told me. It's not what you just told me at all. You said she went to hit you, and you grabbed her and put her in a headlock.
She went to hit me, and I blocked her hit. She was still coming at me, and that's why I put her in a headlock.
That's not what you said to me. You said, according to you, she went to hit you, you blocked her, and put her in a headlock. That's what you just told me.
And I put her in a headlock because she was still coming at me.
Mm-hmm.
And we were
and what did you
hitting each
do
other.
when you put her in a headlock?
She was hitting me, and I was hitting her.
So you had a fight?
Yes.
And you got the worst of it?
She pushed me to the ground and busted my ankle.
She pushed you to the ground during the course of a fight that you started.
She came at me.
She pushed you to the ground during the course of a fight that you started.
I was walking away from the situation, and she came at me from
after you had
behind.
started it.
So
If you were going to testify, is that what you would testify to? Exactly what she said? Huh?
yes.
Perfect. Somebody's going to always get the worst of a fight. Isn't that right, Bird?
It's usually how it happens, Judge.
Usually how it happens. This time you got the worst of the fight. You walked into your friend's house and created a scene, and you didn't get any response from her the first time. You said to her, give me the blank CD. Give me the blank CD. Then, clearly, according to you, I'm not even going to her. According to you, she was standing, but then she sat down. And then you continued to call her names.
We were yelling at each other.
She didn't start yelling at you. You walked in and immediately, according to you, started to call her foul names. Right?
Yeah.
So you got a broken ankle? Huh?
So,
You got a broken ankle during the course of the fight?
Yes.
It's what happens. Suck it up. That's all.
All these are excuses. You may step.
Old homemaker Kathy O'Connor is suing her cousins, Linda and Lonnie Butler, for the cost of 2 Cocker Spaniel and the return of property.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 116 on the calendar in the matter of O'Connor versus Butler. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats.
Miss O'Connor, I've read your complaint very carefully. Last June, you became ill and you were hospitalized. And you developed some severe complications. You have a child, a boy. How old is your boy?
He's 8.5.
When you went into the hospital, you left your son with your father. With whom?
My 2 sons, and there's another older teenager.
They were clearly unable to take care of him because your father, at some point, gave guardianship of your son to your cousins who were the defendants. Is that right?
Yes.
When was that? When did you take physical custody of the boy?
August 19th.
You were released when in August?
The 30th of August.
Then there was some issue as to whether they were going to give you the child back. On what day did you actually turn custody back over to the mother?
November 17th, 2000.
Your claim is as follows, Miss O'Connor. You say that about 1.5 years or so ago, you sold your cousins 2 Cocker Spaniels and they've never paid you. The second part of your claim is you say that they didn't return some of your son's clothing when they finally turned custody back over to you. That's your claim. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Let's deal with the dogs first. When did you give the dogs to the Butlers?
It was around June, early June.
June of what year?
2000, I believe.
How old were the dogs?
One was 2 and one was 4. It was a mother and daughter.
Why could you no longer care for these 2 dogs?
Her dog, Bucky, was a Cocker Spaniel, and it died. So this is the reason why I didn't give it to her. She said she'd pay me back. She would pay me.
I'm asking you a question. You've got 2 dogs, 2 and 4 years old, that are living with you, that I assume you're attached to. Why did you get rid of the dogs?
She told me she'd have a better home for them and that she can groom them herself. It was very expensive to groom them for me because I had it done.
So that's why you weren't able to take care of the dogs. You didn't want to do the grooming anymore.
Right.
Right. Now, what makes you think, first of all, these dogs are worth $200 a piece, which is what you...
$375 for the mother.
Yes.
And sold her puppies for $250.
So?
That's what I bought the dog for.
Okay. I'll hear you. Go ahead. Let's hear about the dogs first.
As far as the dogs, we were there on a Sunday. She was about ready to put the dogs in the paper. And I told her I would take them. Yes, Bucky did pass away. But that's not why I wanted them, is because they needed a home.
Well, what was she going to put them in the paper for?
To sell them for money. My husband was there and my daughter was there as witnesses. She says, go ahead and take the dogs. They're very neglected. She couldn't take care of them anymore.
Nobody buys a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old dog, madam, for $200 apiece. That's where you read for adoption. Can't take care of them anymore. These are adult dogs. Let's leave the dogs for a second. You went into the hospital. You've got 2 sons. You've got somebody else. How come your child ended up with your cousins?
My father took it upon himself. He didn't say, can I have them or anything. He took them out of the home. He dumped out 7 full-size drawers of Gabriel's clothes.
There must have been a reason for that, Miss O'Connor. How old are your sons?
20, 18, and 8.5.
20 and 18?
Yes.
So your father probably was using his brain and figured out that your 8-year-old wasn't being properly taken care of by your 20-year-old son and your 18-year-old son. Don't you think that's possible?
He was going to school every day.
Miss
on the
O'Connor,
bus.
what do you possibly think motivated your father to come and take him out of the house when the mother isn't there and you got 2 teenage boys in the house in charge of an 8-year-old? What do you think your father was thinking? He wanted to do something to spite you?
Yes.
Yes. You the 2 sons?
I'm one of them.
Which one, 18 or 20?
18.
Step up. Were you there when your grandfather came and took your little brother?
Yes, I was.
Tell me about that. Did you have a conversation with him?
Yes, he said we wouldn't be able to afford food for him, so he would come and take him and bring him into a better home where they could take care of him a little bit better.
And what did you say?
I said, okay.
Good. Sit down. By the way, were you working?
No,
What about your 20-year-old brother? Was he working?
not at the time.
So how were you living?
On what was in the kitchen.
That's why your father took your son, turned him over to cousins who took care of him.
But wouldn't give him back.
Well, evidently they felt as if he had been a little neglected, madam.
Yes, ma'am. They wouldn't give him back.
Ultimately, a court gave him back to you. Is that right?
Yes.
But not right away.
I had to go through 3 courts.
But not right away.
Right.
While you were in the hospital, you say that they took care of him for 3 weeks. Did you thank them?
Yes.
When did you thank them?
Over the phone.
Did you say, do I owe you any money?
She got his checks.
What checks?
His Social Security. His father had died.
Yes.
My husband died. So he got the Social Security
Right.
money. That's what she was getting.
How many Social Security checks did you get? Yes.
Ma'am, I've had him since August 19th. I didn't get paid until October, November. All of August and September, I did it from my heart.
How did you manage to get a check for October?
I went to Rancho Cucamonga Police Department and went to court. They gave me temporary custody. That's what opened the doors for that boy.
Month of August, month of September. She got no money. Where were his checks going in August and September?
August, I'm in the hospital. I got it I got it August. I got one September.
Where did the money go?
In my bank account.
Well, why didn't you send them the money?
I wasn't talking to her by then. She couldn't talk to me. She got too hostile.
All right. A, let's forget about the dogs. You gave the dogs away because you couldn't take care of them. Ages 2 and 4 years old. Not worth $400 or $500. Absolutely not. And not only that, but you didn't even ask for them back.
Yes, I did.
When? When?
When she started talking to me when I had child visitations with my son Gabriel.
When you were angry with her.
I wasn't angry. She was angry.
When you were angry with her because she wouldn't give your son back.
She was angry that I got visitations to my son to take him every Saturday. And that's a 2.5-hour drive.
So that's when you asked for your dogs back?
Yeah, she only had one. The other one she sold.
Did you sell?
I gave her away because she had a howling problem.
Who did you give the dog to?
It was a lady in the newspaper.
I would like the dogs back.
Well, you can't have them back. Gave them away. All right, let's talk about clothes. What clothes do you say they have?
My dad emptied out in trash bags 7 full-size drawers, his socks, underwear, everything was taken.
Right.
And when I finally won the last battle, November 17th, I got 2 trash bags, 2 little trash bags of clothes. Plus, it was his birthday. I bought him all kinds of stuffed toys and everything, and I didn't see any of that come back.
How much does Gabriel get from Social Security?
$557
a month.
Yes.
Okay. That's about $1,100 for the 2 months that your son was with them that you put in your bank, right? You put that money in your bank, right? Money that was supposed to go for the support. I'm speaking. Money that was supposed to go for the support of the child, you put in your checking account.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kathy O'Connor is suing her cousins, Linda and Lonnie Butler, for the cost of 2 Cocker Spaniels and the return of property.
You took your son's money and you put it in your bank account. So if you have to buy more clothes for him, go buy more clothes for him. Do you think I'm going to get involved in underwear, 6 pairs of underwear, 3 pairs of shoes, a pair of sneakers? I have no intention of doing that. As far as I'm concerned, when somebody takes charge of your child because you're incapable of doing it, what do you want?
The thing is, when my grandpa came over, he said he was going to take care of him.
What difference does it make? You're 18? If you were grown up and mature and responsible, and it's the summertime, one of you goes out, gets a job, act responsibly so that your grandfather wouldn't have had to worry about your 8-year-old brother. You weren't going to do it, and she's in the hospital.
He was fine.
Oh, yeah, he was fine. I don't believe that a grandfather comes over and takes it upon himself to remove a baby, little boy, 8 years old, from a house where he thinks the child is thriving.
He was getting fed.
What do you want? Who are you?
Why isn't he? I'm Linda's son. Why isn't he here to testify about this?
I have no idea why he's not here. Maybe nobody brought him here. All I'm telling you is
Maybe he doesn't want
she
to
didn't take... You're whose son?
Linda's son.
Her son.
Her son.
Yes.
Were you available to take care of the 8-year-old?
At the time, I didn't know about it. I was overseas.
So what do you know now?
What I know now?
What do you know now?
About the situation going on where she had kidnapped a child.
Sit down. There was a court order, sir, when the court had at least some facts before it.
Some manipulation.
I'm speaking, which gave them temporary custody. Now, in order to establish that you're going to give a child to biological strangers, at least not a mother and father or father, there has to be some overriding neglect or abuse or abandonment. And unless you can prove any of those three things, long-term neglect, abuse, or abandonment, the child has to go back to the biological parent, even if the biological parent is not so terrific. Clearly, a court in October, when faced with certain facts, said, we want to take a more careful look at this situation before we return this child, so they gave them temporary custody. As far as I'm concerned, there should be a thank you here instead of a lawsuit. Your case is dismissed, that's all.
Thank you, Judge.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Thank you. To me, the evil snake needs to go on with her life.
He's not the same kid anymore.
He's a very neglected child.
And now the next case.
All parties on Briscoe versus Briscoe. Step forward, please.
47-year-old administrator Beverly Briscoe is suing her ex-husband, 49-year-old hairstylist Adolph Briscoe, for illegally repossessing her car. Adolph is countersuing for car payments, the cost of insurance, and credit card bills.
Ms. Briscoe, the defendant is your former husband.
Yes, yes.
You were married but have been divorced for many years.
Yes.
And to your credit, according to both of you, I assume, you've remained friends.
Yes, we did.
Good. And then you did a very foolish thing. You decided to buy a car from him.
Yes, I did.
Here goes the trouble. When did you decide to purchase the car?
On March the 15th
Of this year?
of this year.
You purchased the car for $8,000 in total.
Yes.
$4,000 was to go to Mr. Briscoe.
Yes.
The other $4,000 was what was outstanding on the loan.
Yes.
You did not change the loan to put it in her name. She was going to make the payments herself.
Yes, ma'am.
So you first paid him a total of?
$1,500 on the 15th of March.
Oh. And then you made an additional payment to him. On what
Yes,
date?
On the 29th, I gave him $500. On April the 12th, I gave him $500. On April the 28th, I gave him $500.
That is
on
not
May
so.
the 12th, I gave him another $500. I have everything down here with my bank statements and everything.
Okay, let me see your bank statement. No, just take out your bank statement, don't. Just give me the whole portfolio.
And the days that I got paid, and Mr. Briscoe I had written down the dates that I got paid.
All right. So in total, you claim you gave him $3,500.
Yes, ma'am.
And according to what I've read, you made an additional 2 payments to the bank.
Yes.
And then in the 3rd month, he claims you were late in the car payment, and he came and repossessed the car.
Yes, a day late. I didn't breach my contract with Mr. Briscoe. He was very upset at me because someone that I chose to be in my life, and this is the person here.
I don't care. I put the
Okay.
picture away. I don't care who you chose to be in your life.
But that's why he was upset, and he chose to come get the car from me on the 21st of May.
When is the car payment due?
On the 20th.
On the 20th.
Had you mailed the payment in?
I was getting ready to mail it on the 22nd.
So you hadn't mailed it in?
No, I haven't.
So they weren't going to get it at least for another 2 or 3
Yes,
days?
and the month before that, I mailed it on the 26th. He didn't give me a call then. That's when we were still friends.
Did she give you $3,500?
No, she did not.
How much did she give you, sir?
She gave me $2,500.
Well, this doesn't show. This just shows that you took out money.
I have money orders on the back.
Money orders?
Yes, of $500.
Just a minute. I have 5 10, 15.
And the other two, I gave him
$1,500.
cash. I can't show you anything because I gave him cash the first 2 times. He know that I gave him $1,500. Then I gave on the 29th, I gave him.
Was it $1,500 in cash, sir?
Yes, it was.
Then I have 3 money orders made out to you in the amount of $500 each, which brings the total on this to $3,000, not $2,500.
Then I am $500 off.
When I gave him the $1,500, that was cash.
He acknowledges that you gave him the $1,500
But he can't remember
in cash.
the other, on the 29th, he can't remember
Maybe
that
not.
also. No.
Okay, it's $3,000. The 2 car payments that you made to him, he drove the car.
Yes.
For those 2
I don't
months.
want the money back for that.
Fine.
Because I drove the car.
Okay, now let's get to your counterclaim, Mr. Briscoe. According to you, several years ago, you weren't feeling well, and your former wife came to take care of you, and you were feeling very benevolent towards her. So you decided to give her a credit card to help her out, or a
Yes.
couple of credit cards to help
Yes.
her out. Tell me about these credit cards. Did you take
Yes,
credit
he gave
cards
me the
from him?
credit cards. He gave them to me in December. I have payments that I make each month to the credit card place. Adolph eventually turned them off. I have a tape that he said he's going to cut everything off when we had the argument on April the 20th.
So how much do you owe on the credit cards?
I owed, I believe on one of them I owe like maybe $900.
And on the other one?
Probably about 2 or 3.
How much does she owe on the credit cards?
She owes $1,500 total.
Show me.
On
Just show me. She may not be 100% right. She's not so far off.
And Judge Judy, he turned them off, so I couldn't make arrangements to pay them.
Okay. Fine.
And I have him on tape saying he would turn them off. And
So he
did
turned
just
them
do
off.
that.
That doesn't mean you don't have to pay them.
But I couldn't make arrangements because they said they cut off. They're closed, lost credit cards. I couldn't make any arrangement. He closed them out.
$1,250. Well, that's about what you said.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, you want her to pay what else, sir?
There's another credit card as well for $500, which
Show
I
me.
have told I have paid $200.
No, I have to see the balance. I have to see her balance on that credit card.
They were going to send me all of that, and they didn't send it in
Well,
time.
I can't help you with that,
Okay.
And
sir.
Judge Judy, they'll just do $29. And Adolph, if he wouldn't have turned it off, I could pay that.
You owe him the money.
Okay.
My question to you, Mr. Briscoe,
Yes.
is why didn't you give her back the money she had paid you? You took the car back.
Right.
Do you think you're entitled to keep the $3,000 that she paid you for
Absolutely, I have.
Shh.
You
So
asked
the
me.
answer is yes. You think
Yes.
you're entitled to keep that money.
Absolutely.
Well, explain to me why, sir.
Your Honor, when they collect your car and you don't pay your payments, no one gives you
Adolph,
any
you
money
were late
back.
for 2 months
Mrs.
when I
Briscoe,
took care of
Miss
you.
Briscoe,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't want to hear you when he's speaking. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You are not Ford Motor Corporation.
I am the one that's
You are not.
responsible for
You
the
are
car.
not Ford Motor Corporation. If after
So
2
she
months,
drives
sir,
my
I'm
car for
speaking.
3 months?
Try not to speak over me, Mr. Briscoe. You will be unsuccessful. If she paid you $3,000, and I'm discounting the money she says she gave you in cash because she has no
She didn't
proof
give
of
me any
that.
money. Yes.
I'm speaking. If she gave you $3,000 and you took the car back within 2 months, you don't get to keep her
3
$3,000. 3 months.
Yes.
You don't get to keep her $3,000. In addition, for the car payments she made, part of that went towards your principal on your loan. That helped you out a little bit, but she drove the car, and I'm not going to get into the pennies that it was to pay off certain percentage of the loan over the 2 months period, but you certainly came out on top with regard to that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand, absolutely.
Well, if he doesn't understand, if you had time, you'll explain it to him outside. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,788, which deducts what you owe him for the credit card. That's all.
Parties are excused.
45-year-old CPA Lynn Lemke is suing her ex-boyfriend, 47-year-old counselor John Mungo, for an unpaid loan to keep him out of jail, the return of a car, and an assault.
Order. All rise. Now, this is case number 256 on the calendar in the matter of Lemke versus Mungo. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat, please.
Ms. Lemke, the defendant was a former boyfriend of yours. According to your complaint, he owes you for 3 things. He owes you for money that you loaned to him at one point when he was facing incarceration. He owes you for the value of a car which you say you purchased, although it was in his name, it was supposed to be your car, and that he owes you for damages as a result of an assault that took place over a year ago. Is that right?
That's correct.
I assume that the loan that kept him out of jail was the first money that you're suing for. Is that right?
Yes.
And tell me the circumstances surrounding that loan.
John was, faced going to jail for child support arrearages. And the day that he was to appear in court, we took the bus up together. And then I overheard his, discussion with the DA and that he needed $750 to take him, him out of jail. And we agreed that I would, loan him the money and that he would repay me when he was able to.
Well, how did that come about? What did you say to him and what did he say to you?
Well, what I said to him was that I had $750. Just don't worry about it. You can repay me, when you're able to. I have $400 cash in my wallet, and we can go down to an ATM.
Tell me about, sir, your version of the $750, which you acknowledge that the plaintiff paid in order to keep you out of jail.
The $750, Lynn had offered to give me $700.
Tell me how it came about.
Oh, I was trying to do that.
No,
before we went to court, several days before she...
Look at me.
Yes, ma'am. She volunteered, said, I could give you some money to stay out. And I said, absolutely not. I don't want to do it because I would feel obligated. So a few days went by, and I was supposed to turn myself in. So we went, and then when we got into out in the hallway, the public defender said, well, do you have the money? I said, no, I don't. And he says, I have it. And he said, well, are you going to use it? I said, absolutely not. I don't want to because I feel like I'm obligated. I cannot pay her back. And then she said, he said, well, do it. I said, no. So he left. And then he came back again and said, why don't you do it? And I said, well, and we thought about it. And I said, he convinced me to do it. I paid it, and then we went home, and that was it.
So it's not your fault, and it's not her fault. It's the public defender's fault.
No, she offered this money to me in front of Mr. Coleman here.
Just a second, but you said
yes.
That you declined to take it.
Yes, I did.
Because you would have felt obligated to repay it.
Yes.
And then you said that the district attorney or the public defender forced you to do it.
He did not force me. He coerced me into it.
He coaxed you to do it, and you did it.
Yes.
And I assume, therefore, that your initial reason for not wanting to take the money in the first place still held true, that you would have felt obligated to repay it. That's what you just told me.
That's correct.
So you took the money, and I assume you still felt obligated to repay it.
I did?
Well, then I'm asking you that. What happened, sir, between the time you walked into the courthouse when you would have felt obligated to repay the money if the plaintiff gave you the money and the time you actually took the money?
She told me it was a gift, and I would not have to pay her.
That is...
Absolutely.
No.
Well, Mr. Coleman
here
say... heard her say it in his house.
Just a second, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
She never used the words gift. This is a gift that I'm making to you,
yes,
John.
Yes, she did.
No. She never did.
Well, that's not what she's telling you.
That's not what I believe.
Oh.
I would believe it if you told me, because I don't know if I'd believe anything you told me. I certainly wouldn't believe it if he told to me. I'm telling you, she didn't give you the money. She may have said to you, I want you to take it, and you can pay me back when you can.
Yes.
That she might have said. All right, let's move on to number two. Let's move on to car. How much did you purchase this car for?
$625.
$625. So it wasn't a Jaguar?
No.
And it wasn't a brand new car?
Absolutely not.
And you had no driver's license?
That's correct.
So you purchased the car and you put the car in his name?
Not at the time of purchase, but yes, eventually.
When did you purchase the car?
June 29th.
What were you going to do with a car that you couldn't drive?
Well, I had wanted a car for a long time as...
just to look at it?
Friends had known. Of course not.
Well, what were you going to do with it?
Have other people drive it for me so that I could get around until I have a driver's license.
So you must have discussed with him driving you around.
No, not necessarily Mr. Mungo, my roommate John Coleman.
Oh.
And no decision had been made whether it even be either one of these people.
Whatever. You put the car ultimately in his name. Tell me when.
It was in July.
So you went down to Motor Vehicles and put the car, after you had it for some time, in the defendant's name.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Mungo, according to you, there came a time when plaintiff came to reside with you in your home. Is that right?
Yes.
When was that?
Let me see here. I have the date right here. It's on the bill of sale that we use, a copy of the bill of sale that we used for the transfer of the automobile, which was on dated 7/18/2000.
That's when she came to live with you?
Yes, came to stay with me.
How long did she stay with you?
2 months and 5 days.
And according to you, Mr. Mungo, your arrangement was that she could live with you rent-free and give you the car.
Correct.
Miss Lemke, did you pay any rent? Miss Lemke, pay attention.
No, I did not, and I do not remember that document at all.
Should look at me. Could you look at me?
Oh, I beg your pardon.
And was it about the time you went to live with him because you had problems with your old roommate? That's why you
Well, he
moved out.
locked me out of the house, and but
Your old roommate locked you out of the house.
Yes.
And you went to live with Mr. Mungo. And at the same time that you went to live with Mr. Mungo, was that the time you went down to motor vehicles and transferred the title to the car to his name? That's what he says.
No, when I went to live with Mr. Mungo, I was only going there for some place to sleep the night I was locked out.
But you stayed for 2 months.
That's correct, and I contracted bronchitis, had severe pneumonia in
All the time you were in
August.
Mr. Mungo's house.
I was, yes, I was.
And you did not pay any rent.
While I was taking care of him.
Shh. You did not pay any rent.
No, but I bought food and whatever, yeah.
You did
no,
not pay
I
any-
paid no rent, no.
Oh, okay. And he took care of you when you were sick.
No,
Who took care of you?
I took care of myself.
Okay. Let's get to item number 3. Tell me about this alleged assault. When did it take place?
September 11th.
What happened on September 11th?
I mentioned something about the car, the subject I would avoid because of his fiery temper whenever the subject came up. There'd been a lot of verbal abuse.
So you started to talk about the car. He didn't want to talk about the car.
He ran from the back of his house in a fiery rage and punched me as a boxer's punch right here.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Lynn Lemke says ex-boyfriend John Mungo owes for an unpaid loan and the return of a car. Lynn also claims John charged her in a fiery rage and punched her.
Do you have a police report?
The police said that a police report could not be issued.
Police issue a police report when there's an assault. Do you have any photographs of your injuries as a result of the assault?
Yes, I do.
Can I see them, please?
That was a couple weeks later. This is about 5 weeks later. 6, maybe.
Okay, let me hear your version of what happened on this date on September 11th.
Well, Miss Lemke is an alcoholic, and she was drinking 24/7 every day for 2 months. Her idea of being
For the
sick
2
with
months that she was living with you?
Yes. Her idea of being sick with bronchitis is drinking a 1.7 liter of Jack Daniels and barfing all over the place. I had my son at my house. He was, I believe, 3 years old, and she was told when he's around and you're drinking, please do not talk to him, leave him alone. We were in the bathroom, and she came in and she grabbed me by the arms. She was shaking me and screaming at me, and I could see the fillings in her teeth. And I broke loose from her, and I went outside. And before I went outside, my little boy was hitting her on the leg like this, saying, stop. He could see that there was this anger, and it was getting him upset. So we went outside, and my little boy kept trying to protect me, and then she went to grab him. And as she grabbed him, he kind of turned upside down, and she spiraled down into the brick fence, and he kind of kicked her in the face. And
Oh, my God. That's
and
an outright lie.
basically, I just was horrified. I said, "Oh, you've got to go." I didn't want her to be there anymore. And she kept
I
wondering.
don't know why she was there in the first place, sir.
She was there because she was so combative with John. He couldn't have her living at his house anymore. He locked her out.
So she had other places to go. She could rent a room someplace. Go
Yes,
to
she
why?
could.
So why was she living with you, sir? You're telling me she's an alcoholic. You had
I
your
wanted my
3-year-old
car
son.
back.
I think
what
she
I
was
wanted,
crazy mad
and
in
I
love
was
with me,
sick.
to tell you the truth.
Well,
We were having a torrid love affair.
You were having a torrid love affair
At
with
times.
somebody who you say was a complete alcoholic? When you have a torrid love affair with someone who is blind on Jack Daniels for 2 straight months.
How?
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Not for you, maybe. Not for you, maybe. Okay. What happened as a result of this assault? Were you ever contacted by the police?
Police Well, when after this happened, I picked, my son was supposed to go home to his mother. I spent the night over there. I didn't want to come back home. And apparently the police came out, and the policeman said, I think, ma'am, you must have fallen off the porch and hurt yourself.
Don't tell me what the police said to her.
Well, he was there to hear it.
This is
Hearsay.
unbelievable.
Okay. Hearsay?
Hearsay.
Oh,
This
okay.
is.
Okay. Oh, yes. Go ahead.
You're despicable.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Quite frankly, Miss Lemke, if someone had assaulted me, causing this kind of injury,
Yes.
then there would have been a police report, there would have been a police prosecution for domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks later, I went to jail for domestic violence, Your Honor.
And I cannot understand, madam, why you would not follow up on this case that happened over a year ago. Why?
I've been sick for months.
Okay, you're going to get your $750 bail money back. You are not going to get your car back because I do believe Mr. Mungo, and believe me, it was a real stretch because it's hard to believe him about a lot of things. I do believe that he agreed to have you live there rent-free in exchange for this $625 car that you had put in his name anyway. As far as your request for damages with regard to the assault, I am not quite sure how this happened. And it is quite possible that you were, in fact, intoxicated at the time, and you're not sure how it happened either. So this is the judgment of the court. You keep the car, and you give her $750 for the bail money. You got me? Good. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Lady Smirnoff?
He bought alcohol for me.
I think she's still in love with me, and she just wants to have some type of contact.
In fact, he had stated he liked me better drunk than sober because he wanted anything from me.
And now the next case.
All parties on Astuto versus Curley, step forward, please.
23-year-old secretary Joan Astuto is suing her ex-fiancé, 25-year-old tile setter Sean Curley, for half the cost of a wedding that never happened.
Mrs. Studo, according to your complaint, you had a long relationship with the defendant, spanning a little over 5 years.
Yes.
You have a child together.
Yes.
And at some point, you decided to get married. He proposed and gave you a ring.
Yes. I picked it out. I put down 80 towards it, and he put the rest.
Okay, how much was the ring?
It was a little over $200. I put down 156.
Okay, and then there came a time when you started to plan the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And you put some money down on various things for the wedding, a hall, a DJ, all totaling about $700. And then in September, you decided this was not going to work out. You called off the wedding and moved out, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you put the money down on?
The reception hall at the Spartan Manor,
How much was that?
$600,
Yeah.
and 95 towards the DJ.
Who was going to pay for the wedding?
We were both, but I put down the money for the DJ. And
Tell me the discussion that you had.
Well, I discussed on where to have it, and we agreed at the Spartan Manor, and then we went together to the reception site and put down the deposit.
Okay, and how come you put down the deposit?
Because I was the one who had the money.
I didn't have the lump sum of $600 to put down at the time.
At the time?
Yes, ma'am.
And what about the DJ?
I told him how I was booking that DJ, and he agreed.
I don't remember anything like that.
How did you think this wedding was going to get paid for?
Very slowly.
What do you mean very slowly? What does that mean?
Basically,
Don't look down. Look up at me.
Okay, sorry, ma'am. Week for week until it was paid off. The $600 was a down payment, and then they wanted payment after that every week, and I would have to pay that.
Oh, that's perfect. So it was your intention, Mr. Curley, despite your answer, that you intended to pay for this wedding together.
Yes, ma'am.
So why don't you think you were at least partially responsible for the down payments that she put down?
She kept the engagement ring.
Did you keep the engagement ring?
Yes.
Oh, well, he has to be given credit for that. Why didn't you give it back to him?
Because he left.
So what?
I also paid $80 for that wedding ring.
Okay, but he paid $156, right?
Or how about I just give him his ring back?
Oh, fine. Where is it?
I can do that. It's at my house.
Oh, it's easier. So I don't have to deal with that later. We'll just take off the $156. The entire cost that you put down was $700. Half of that would be $350. So that's $194.
I also left my house gave it to her, $48,000, fully furnished. We have a child together, and I left them two in the house.
How much equity is there in the house?
Nothing. We just bought it a year ago.
How much of a down payment did you put down?
A little over $1,000.
So you didn't leave her with a $48,000 house, you left her with a $47,000 debt. You have a daughter together?
Yes, ma'am.
Paying child support?
Yes, ma'am.
How much?
I pay, right now it's not court ordered, but I'm paying $88 every week. We do have a court date for that in a couple weeks to determine child support.
And do you visit with your daughter regularly?
No, I haven't seen her since Christmas Day of 2000.
Why is that?
She has not let me see her.
Why is that?
I've told him he can come to the house and pick her up, and he refuses.
I've had threats from her house.
You know, I've done in the last
Just a
5
second.
years for
Just a
him
second.
enough. I am, you know, I'm not his mother. I don't want to be his mother anymore.
I'm not interested in whether you want to be his mother anymore. So you say that you've told him that he can come to the house and pick up your
numerous
daughter.
times.
What does he want you to do?
He says no. He says to meet me at the police station. This weekend, I called him to meet him at the police station. I talked to his girlfriend and argued with her on the phone.
Just a second. So he was smart and he indicated to you, just meet me for pickup and delivery at the police station. If he's afraid of some altercation that might take place when he comes to pick up the child in your home, then usually when I was full-time sitting family court judge, I would make pickup and return in some neutral place where there were people around so that would avoid confrontation between two people who don't get along. So picking up and returning the child at the police station is a very good idea.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He has to see his daughter. You have absolutely no right to keep the child from him. None. And I would assume that when you go to court, you make sure that you tell the judge when you go to court, Mr. Curley, that what you had suggested because of the problems was a pickup and return in a neutral spot, and she had rejected that.
Yes, ma'am.
There's no question that the court will order visitation because whether it worked out between the two of you or not, your child has a right to spend time with you.
Yes, ma'am.
So judgment is for the plaintiff in the amount of $194. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Year-old private investigator Catherine Harrison is suing her ex-boyfriend, Claude Johnson, for his share of a vacation and an assault.
All rise. Your Honor, this is case number 165 on the calendar, the matter of Harrison versus Johnson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, ma'am. Have a seat.
Ms. Harrison, you and Mr. Johnson had a relationship that is now over.
Correct.
According to your complaint, some time ago you took a vacation together. You were supposed to split the cost of the vacation, and he still owes you for some of that bill. In addition, after you separated, there was some altercation involving Mr. Johnson, and you claim he assaulted you. You want to be compensated for your pain and suffering as a result of the assault. Mr. Johnson says what was left over from the vacation was a gift, because you said that you would take care of the extra expenses, and that he never assaulted you. As a matter of fact, it was quite the other way around. So, when did this love affair start, and when did it terminate?
We had met in February of '04 while working together, and we had broken up this March.
And when was the vacation that you took?
In February of '05.
Where were you going?
I had purchased Lakers Piston tickets for him for Christmas. So we had went to Detroit, we had watched the game, and we had agreed before we left, everything would be 50-50.
Were you living together at the time?
Yes, we were. So we had went to Detroit, and then we had went to Canada for a few days after that.
Well, is it the Detroit trip or the Canada trip that he owes you for?
It's a combination of all of it. There's actually, the total trip balance was $1,468. Therefore, his half of that would have been $734, which he's paid $354.50 and owes $379.50 as the remainder.
So let's take care of that first. Yes?
She's not telling the truth. I was told that, we would go to the game. She said she's going to buy me the tickets. I'm like, okay. She's talking about she wants to go to Canada to go gamble. I'm like, I don't have the money to go gamble in Canada. I really don't want to go. She says, well, we'll put it on my credit card. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. So I'm like, okay, let's go. I agreed to pay her money for the trip to Detroit, at the game and everything. But then,
Well, how much was that part of the trip, Mr. Johnson?
Well, the tickets were free. She bought
No,
them.
no. Listen to me.
Okay.
How much was your half of the trip to Detroit?
I really don't know. I paid for the hotel, drinks, food, stuff like that.
No, just a second.
Okay.
Was that all put on her credit card?
Well, I gave her the cash. I don't know if she paid with her credit card or whatever. That's on her.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, I have receipts, credit card statements, bank statements from all of the money that was spent. Definitely.
How much was spent from Detroit? I'm just curious.
From Detroit, we've got a charge of $64.59 in the hotel, and then he had bought some drinks at the game itself. That was
well,
all
that's a small amount of money. Is that the only bill from Detroit?
That's the only bill from Detroit.
That's what I'm saying.
But he paid.
Just a second.
He's paid $354.
Just a second. Okay. When I say just a second, that means you have to stop. The only two bills from Detroit were a $65 bill from a hotel and a couple of drinks. Yes. Is that right?
I guess, according to her bank statements. I don't,
then what did you give her $354 for, sir?
I don't recall how much money I gave her. We had other things going at the time, so, like it gets really complicated.
I'm going to uncomplicate it. You owe $379.50 for the rest of the vacation you took together. You did go, and if you didn't want to go, you should have said, if you want to go to Canada, go alone.
But it was.
Do you both? I'm speaking. Did you go to Canada?
Yeah, it was a gift on her.
I'm speaking. I just answer my question.
Okay.
Don't volunteer anything unless I ask you to volunteer, which will be never. Did you go to Canada?
Yes, I did.
Did you sleep in a hotel?
Yes, I did.
Did you eat food?
Yes.
You owe a $379.50.
Oh, man.
Now let's get to the assault. You broke up in March of 2005, and when do you allege this assault took place?
June 13th.
Tell me about it.
I had went over to the apartment, which we previously had shared together, to talk about some previous matters that were unhandled.
What?
It was money for rent that was due after I'd moved out that he had not paid, and then I, in turn, had to pay.
Well, what was your agreement as far as moving out and continuing to pay the rent?
The agreement was that he was going to take care of the rent since he did not wish to leave the apartment, which I would have, stayed if he would have left and taken care of everything myself. Okay. Anyhow, he had moved in some roommates as well.
So you went over there because you were held responsible for what month's rent?
For the month of June, as well as the first 2 months we had lived there were half price, so they violated the lease, so we had owed that money too. It was $1,300 that I had to pay.
Why did you pay it?
Well, I was buying a house, and I could not have that eviction on my credit if it was not paid.
Were you evicted from that apartment?
No.
Did you stay to the end of the lease?
No. The lease still isn't up yet.
All right. So in June, you went to see him about some money that you thought he owed you.
Well, I had went over, and he was actually outside already, so he had just come up to the car. So we were talking through the window.
It's not true. She's lying.
Have you ever been in court before,
No,
Mr.
I have
Johnson?
not. No.
Since you have not, I'm going to give you a kindergarten course about court, especially mine. One party testifies, I ask questions. When she's finished testifying, you will be given an opportunity to testify.
Okay.
We don't shout out. This is not a discotheque. This is not a give and take. This is an organized, orderly process. Do we understand each other, sir?
Yes.
I don't have to explain this to you again, do I?
No.
Good. Keep going.
Okay, so he was speaking to me through the window of the car, and he was under the assumption that he thought I had taken money from him earlier that morning when I went to get my mail. So he kept bringing that up, well, I don't care about all this money. Where's my $14? So he reaches in the car, takes my purse. I grab a hold of it before he gets it completely across me because I had it right here on my side. So when I wouldn't let go, he starts hitting me in my chest. And so in turn, I let go of the purse. So I got out of the car and, I was asking him, can I have my purse back, whatever. And he's pushing me and shoving me, pushing me, back from him. So, he goes into the house and gets away from the situation. So immediately I had dialed 911 to, reach the police. And they went to the door, and got him outside and talked to him as well. I have the police run log as well.
I want to see a hospital record.
Okay, well, I didn't go to the hospital.
Doctor's report.
I didn't go to the doctor.
Get over it. Whatever pushing and shoving was done over the pocketbook was no big deal. Don't make it into a big deal. Then I begin to doubt your veracity. We understand each other?
Sure.
Good.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Have you paid it back?
No. And as a matter of
Are
fact...
you on drugs?
No.
Then just answer me. I said if you paid her back. The answer is no. One no will be sufficient.
And later today,
Let him take the car so that he could go to school and look for a job. That's what you're supposed to do. You're his mother. How many children do you have?
I have 2.
Well, it seems to me this one is doing okay, which means that your mother probably did something right.
Yes, ma'am.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Catherine Harrison says ex-boyfriend Claude Johnson owes for a trip to Canada and for an assault.
Did you think that she took money from your house?
I know that she took money from my house.
And how do you know that, Mr. Johnson?
Well, I do have 2 roommates. My roommates were sleeping. It was about 7 o'clock in the morning when she came in my house. In the meantime, I had money on my table in my room.
$14.
$14, but it was all the money that I had at the time. So, you know, it's like $1 million to me because it's all I had. Anyways, I go downstairs. You know, I talk to her about whatever, you know, the money situation, the rent, da-da-da. Okay, she says to me, how much money do you have? I'm like, well, not enough, you know.
Well, you're living there. Why don't you have money for the rent,
Well,
Mr. Johnson?
this is about, I have got money. I had, like I said.
Listen to me, sir. Don't double talk me. It's June. Where's your rent money? You and your 2 sleeping roommates.
We had the rent money for the month, right? The thing is we were being charged extra money for the rent. Instead of being $600, we were being charged $1,200. In all reality, we were moving. She just didn't know it yet, so I wasn't going to give her anything, you know. Now.
So you're going to stiff her on the landlord?
No. I was going to pay it. It's big. It's hard to explain it. You know, it would take a long time. Anyway, let's get to the point. She goes upstairs. She says, I'm going to go look for some money.
Have you? And so she took your $14. You went upstairs. You didn't see your $14, so you figured it was in her purse. When she came back later, you went into the purse. Fine.
Fine.
Who paid the landlord the $1,200?
She did.
Have you paid her back?
No. No. And as a matter of fact...
Are you on drugs?
Huh?
Are you on drugs?
No.
Then just answer me. I asked you a simple question. I said if you paid her back. The answer is no. 1 no will be sufficient.
The answer is no. I shouldn't have to pay her back. Yeah.
Well, she didn't file a counterclaim. I'm just curious. Why didn't she ask for that money?
I was told I should handle that in the local Franklin County courts.
That's too bad. In any event, he owes you $379.50 for the vacation, which he agreed to pay for, and he did not completely pay for. I don't believe he assaulted you to any extent that requires compensation by a court. He was angry, but I don't believe he hurt you. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $379.50. And Ms. Harrison, let me explain this to you. You should thank your lucky stars that you got out when you did.
Yes, thank you.
Good, thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She's an evil person. You know, that's why. I don't know why she did it.
He said that he would have the means to pay me back.
She wanted to stay at the Hilton, you know. She wanted to go all out.
That's just the way I roll.
After we broke up, you know, in March, it turned into a loan.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Cowan versus Cowan. Step forward.
Diane Cowan is suing her son, 23-year-old Kenneth Cowan Jr., for car payments and for stealing her tax refund from their shared bank account.
Mrs. Cowan, this is your son. Your lawsuit claims 2 things. First, that you had an arrangement with your son wherein he would use your car and make the payments on it while he was using it until he purchased his own car. You claim that with regard to that portion of your complaint, he did make some payments, didn't pay them all, and ultimately you sent somebody down, your fiancé?
Yes.
Down to pick up the car because he had moved to a different state. So you want him to pay some $1,000 that he should have paid on the car. Second part of your complaint, which I really believe, based upon what I read, is what you're complaining about. You just tacked on this car business later, is that you and your son shared a joint bank account. At some point, he withdrew $2,000 from that joint bank account, and he withdrew that money, which was from your tax refund, because you claimed him as a dependent for last year. And he says he's entitled to that money because he was going to file his own tax return as a single individual. But since you had already claimed him as a dependent, he couldn't claim himself. So he took the $2,000 because he said you weren't entitled to it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I correct, Ms. Cowan, that but for the withdrawal from the bank, we wouldn't be bothering with any money he might owe on the car?
No, we had made a verbal agreement, and I told him that once he took the vehicle to Texas, that he would be responsible for the payments.
Did you have that agreement with your mother?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
Fine. At that time, were you going to school, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you also working?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you working full-time or part-time?
Part-time.
Who was supporting you?
I was on academic scholarship and receiving money from Pell Grants.
Did your mother send you any money?
She may have given me a total of $500.
Okay. Is it correct, Ms. Cowan, that for the year 2004, your son was basically self-supporting?
No.
Well, how did you support him?
Okay, by me being a disabled veteran, it took care of his 2 years of college.
Just a second.
Okay.
You're being a disabled veteran and the government picking up part of his tuition means that we supported him, not you. Is it true that he was either self-supporting or on scholarships and or Pell Grants that he's going to have to return?
Yeah, he was on Pell Grants, but I supported him as far as sending monies for groceries or if he ran short.
How much money did you send him for the year 2004?
I would say over $2,000.
Show me.
I don't have it as far as monetary back. Most of the time, I would always deposit it in my account because we shared account.
I have bank statements showing to where there were deposits made on the account, and these are the only cash deposits on the account are ones that I made.
How many times did you withdraw money from this account, Mr. Cowan?
Very rare, maybe once a semester, if that.
So this was primarily your bank account, that you used this bank account to pay your bills?
Yes.
Okay. You have a copy of your tax returns from last year, sir?
Yes, ma'am. My W-2s and my tax return.
So you had an adjusted gross income of a little over $5,600.
Yes, ma'am.
And according to your statement, if I believed you, which I don't, at most you sent your son $2,000.
Right.
Then you are not entitled to claim him as a deduction because you didn't contribute more than 50% of his support. You were not entitled to claim him as a deduction.
Yes, but according to VA, if I had not claimed him as a dependent, then they would not have taken care of his bills. You know, I'm not a...
Just a second. Let us say that because of some regulation, you were required to claim him as a dependent, even though you did not contribute more than 50% of his support. Let's say that that's true. Then what you should have done was discuss it with your son and say, listen, for the purposes of the VA, so that you can continue to have all your classes covered or whatever percentage the VA covers, I have to claim you as a dependent, but I'm going to give you the $2,000. What would have been wrong with that?
Well, I agreed to that. And
so then why are you complaining that he took the $2,000 out of your account?
Because it was the procedures that he took. Now, he know normally there has not been a time that I have denied him of anything.
So you didn't like the fact that he did it in a sneaky way?
That's right.
Okay. She says she didn't like the idea that you were sneaky about it. Well, I think, Ms. Cowan, one of the reasons he might have been sneaky about it was because when he filed his tax returns, he filed them as an independent, and then he was told later that he was denied his refund because you had already claimed him as a dependent. Had your mother discussed the fact that she was going to claim you?
She had said she was going to try to claim me to recoup some money that I hadn't paid her on a car payment. She told this to my uncle.
Oh, well, I don't want to hear about the car payment. Listen to me, Ms. Cowan. As far as I'm concerned, you got a son that's doing the right thing. If you had a car and you let him take the car so that he could go to school and look for a job, that's what you're supposed to do. You're his mother. How many children do you have?
I have 2.
Okay, well, it seems to me this one is doing okay, which means that your mother probably did something right.
Yes, ma'am.
Should have done the right thing. Shouldn't have made this situation so mucky. Ms. Cowan, irrespective of what he did, you're still his mother, and I sometimes wonder whether I would have. I don't have to wonder. I would not have pursued this matter in court. I would have said to him, it's not the right thing to do. What's your first name?
Kenneth.
It's not the right thing to do, Kenneth. You shouldn't have gone behind my back and taken the $2,000 out of the account. I was prepared to give it to you, but you shouldn't have just taken it. I'm not so sure that you were prepared to give it to him because, according to you, he owed you some money on this car nonsense. Can't tell you how many cars I bought my children. If you had not claimed your son as a dependent, what would have been your refund?
I would have gotten $1,913 from
and
that.
How much did you actually get?
$29.13.
Yes, sir.
When I asked my mother for her tax return, I was going to return whatever she didn't get for claiming me. She sent me a tax return that said she only got $300 for me, which was false.
But she got $1,000 for you.
Right.
Is that what you want, sir?
Yes.
Then you have to give your mother back $1,000 because you took out $2,000 from her account.
No, I was supposed to get $2,000 back, and I was
Listen
unable.
to me. What your mother is saying is she was required by the VA to claim you as a dependent in order for you to get certain benefits. So, although if you filed for yourself as an independent, you would have gotten $2,000. If she didn't file for you as a dependent of hers, you wouldn't have gotten other benefits which far outweighed that $2,000. Are you following me?
Yes, ma'am.
So that you should not have taken out the $2,000 from the account because all she got, by virtue of her claiming you as a dependent, was an extra $1,000. So that's all you were entitled to. Are you following me?
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of one.
Kimberly Shuren is suing her ex-boyfriend, 33-year-old musician Steve Brown, for charges he made on her credit card. Steve says Kimberly incurred the charges when she went on the road with his band.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 78 on the calendar in the matter of Shuren versus Brown. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Ms. Shuren, the defendant was your boyfriend, who you claim used your credit card with your permission, with a promise that he would return the money that he used on the credit card. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
The defendant says that he has a band that travels and that he did use your credit card,
Yes, ma'am.
and the credit card was used for your expenses at a time when you decided that you wanted to travel with a band. And if I understand you, Mr. Brown, your defense is that when you and the members of your band travel together, you minimize those expenses by sharing rooms, lodging, etc. You had to have a separate room with her.
Yes, ma'am.
You explained that carefully to her so that I assume that most of the charges that were made on her credit card were lodging expenses, right?
There
Good,
was some-
because that's your defense. So this is going to be an easy case. Let me see the expenses on the credit card.
Yes, ma'am, I have...
I mean, I read your defense, so without any further fanfare, let me see if we have a whole bunch of lodging expenses.
I have the credit card, and I made a list here, too.
Well, we have a motel in Loxley, Alabama. Then we have a charge for Guitar Center, Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your charge?
That was the charge.
Is that your charge?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a motel? Is
No,
it a
ma'am.
hotel? Motel or hotel?
No, ma'am.
What is it?
It's a guitar store.
Does she play the guitar?
No, ma'am.
So it was your guitar.
It was equipment.
It was equipment. It wasn't a guitar.
For special effects.
Shh, just a second.
Sorry.
That's not a hotel. Explain me.
Okay. Some of the things she bought on the credit card were gifts. There was the one thing that she bought me at Guitar Center was microphones, but that was paid back in cash.
Did he pay you back for that?
No, ma'am. I have a copy of all the payments that were made. I have the checkbook.
You have any proof that you paid her back this $331 for the Guitar Center?
No, ma'am.
Perfect. $331. Then we have goodies. What is that? Is that your charge?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Music Gear, Columbus, Georgia. Is that a motel?
No, ma'am.
What is it?
That's a music store.
It's a music store for you.
I assume, yes.
What's Fat Tuesday? Gulf Shore, Alabama.
That's where he stayed. That's where they were playing at Fat Tuesdays.
Then we have oil, gasoline, I assume, in Awassa, Alabama. Some big gigs. $18. What's that?
I'm not sure.
Well, where do you come from?
Pine Mountain, Georgia.
In Georgia.
Pine Mountain.
So if there's a charge here from Alabama for gasoline, that would be you.
Not necessarily, because Columbus, Georgia, and Pine Mountain is right on the line to where you can. It's crossover in Alabama.
It's a 1 hour drive. May I say something, please? I had went through all the charges and I put it in order. First charge
was the Guitar Center, where he bought equipment, $331. Goodies Columbus was where he bought clothing. Played Again Sports, he wanted to play golf while he was in Gulf Shores.
I'm looking at the credit card bill.
Okay, see, but I put it all in order.
Those are your lists. That's
in the
your
way.
list.
I thought it would be easier for you to look at.
No. I like to look here. I like to look here. Williams Super Center in Phoenix City, Alabama. What is that?
I have no idea what that is.
Well, maybe you'll explain it to me. Ms. Shuren.
That's the Walmart Supercenter in Phoenix City.
Oh, okay.
Walmart
WM.
Supercenter.
See, I'm so old-fashioned. It's the Walmart Supercenter. Do you know what that's for?
Is that the one for $240?
Yes.
That was a Nintendo. Your Honor.
Nintendo.
That was also a gift.
You didn't sleep on it or with it, did you?
No.
Where's the Nintendo?
It's at my house now.
Good, then you pay for it. $240.56. Old Glory Distribution T-shirts, $125.60. Is that a bill that you're charging to him?
It's all his, Your Honor. I never used any of it.
Any of this credit card?
No, the agreement was that I would get the credit card in my name for his use and that he would make the payments.
You mean all of these payments?
He would make payments on the credit card.
You never used this for yourself
I
at all?
never used any of it for my purpose.
Oh, okay. So I have to make sure that...
It was a brand new card, never used. The membership fee, $50. He went to Guitar Center to get equipment. He got golfing equipment to play golf. And then he went to Gulf Shores. And then there's gas, there's Fat Tuesdays where they played, his food, there's the hotel. And when he got back from the trip to Gulf Shores and I got the first credit card statement and saw how much he had charged, I told him that the next time he uses that card, he better bring me some receipts. And then that was the last that he used of it.
So the balance on this card, the new balance is $1,097, sir, and it's not all for lodging.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kimberly Shuren says ex-boyfriend Steve Brown owes for unpaid credit card charges. Steve says they're Kimberly's charges.
Guitar Center, eating, gasoline, a lot of gasoline, because I assume you did a lot of traveling with your band.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yeah.
All these things that are on this card were not purchased by me or even for me.
Really? You want to look over this and tell me?
Yes, ma'am.
What?
I have a list.
Shh, stop with your list.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to see your list. I want him to look at the actual charges on this credit card.
Go ahead and look at them.
Tell me which ones aren't yours, sir. Well, let's...
May I say something?
No.
Okay.
Ms. Shuren, you don't get any cameos or any awards for being stupid and giving somebody a credit card.
That's right.
Right? I've been saying that for enough years so that any normal person would not do that. Bert, how old is your oldest child?
18.
She have your credit card?
No, Judge. She watches the show, too.
Yeah, right. She may have asked.
No.
Didn't even ask.
Didn't even ask. Knew better.
Knew better.
She's got 2 jobs, though.
And you love her.
I'm crazy about her.
And she doesn't have your credit card.
And she can't have my credit card.
And you know her for 18 years.
I've known her all those years.
You got it, Ms. Shuren?
Yes, ma'am.
As far as...
Okie dokie.
Yes, ma'am. As far as everything on here, the only things I can't actually prove them, but the service merchandise, for $58.62.
That was that blue boombox, the radio?
Mr. Brown, why don't you
Yes,
use your
ma'am.
own credit card?
Because he said it's
Shh. Why don't you use your own credit card?
I don't have one right now.
Is this the first time you've used a woman's credit card?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to ask the rest of the members of your band. All right. Well, I don't know what you marked here, sir.
I didn't mark anything. The only thing that's on there is the gas receipts. She acts as if she doesn't drive and put gas in her car.
No, what she's saying, sir, is she didn't use this credit card at all. That you used the credit card. You were going to look through this and tell me which charges were not yours.
There's no charges on there that I could prove that weren't mine.
Oh, what an easy case. my own information. How long did you know him before you gave him this credit card?
A year and a half.
Were you living together?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who paid the rent?
I did, and my sister.
Who paid the telephone?
Me and my sister.
Who paid the gas and electric?
We did, me and my sister.
So that went on for a year and a half before you gave him the credit card?
Yes.
Judgment for the
Your
plaintiff
Honor.
in the amount of $1,154.94. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
So I thought, you know, since he wasn't paying any rent or any utilities, that he would at least have the money to pay the credit card.
Everything was fine until we broke up, and then she decided that I owed her for everything she's ever spent.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Coleman versus Denies. Step forward, please.
20-year-old sales associate Michelle Coleman is suing her ex-boyfriend, 22-year-old auto painter Brad Denies, for illegally repossessing her car. Brad is countersuing, claiming Michelle wrecked 2 of his cars.
Ms. Coleman, you and the defendant were engaged to be married, and according to your complaint, during the course of your engagement, you were not engaged.
We were not engaged.
That's a lie.
So I
don't. So then let's get to the second thing maybe we can agree on, that you bought a car.
Yes.
That is in both your names, as well as the car loan.
Yes.
Then according to your complaint, you broke up, you kept the car. For some reason, which you will explain to me, the car was impounded. He got the car out of impound, paid the fees to get it out of impound, he kept the car. You want all the payments back that you made on the car plus your down payment. How much was the down payment?
$4,000.
He is counterclaiming for 2 cars that you allegedly damaged in April of 2000.
Yes.
Sir, do you admit or deny that she put down the down payment?
She used her check to put the down payment, yes. But half the money was mine because she owed me rent.
What'd she owe you rent from?
From the time we lived together, which was 9 months.
That's a lie. We never lived
Just a
together.
minute.
Yes, we did live together.
Just a second. So what you're telling me is part of the money was yours because she owed you money.
Yes,
Did you tell her that at the time?
yes.
Look at me and tell me what
Okay.
you said to her when you signed the papers for the car loan.
I said that we are going to go in this car together, 50-50, because you were saving up for a car. When you lived with me, I didn't make you pay no rent, no utilities, so you could save up for your own car.
And what?
And that's it.
And that's it. Okay, so let me explain something to you. You didn't put any money down towards the car. The fact, Mr. Denies,
Yes.
that you just said to me, there was an agreement, and I'm taking your word, that you did live together, and your agreement was that she wouldn't pay any bills, but save up to buy a car. That's what you just said to me.
Yes.
Fine. Put your hand down. She didn't owe you the money. So $4,000 you put down on the car.
Yes.
Okay. And then you drove the car for how many months?
About 4 months, 5 months.
Until what date did you drive the car?
The car was impounded in November. So November
How was the car impounded? Under what circumstances?
I started seeing a new guy, and I loaned him the car. He didn't tell me he didn't have a license. He called me and told me that my car was impounded.
You got the car out of impound.
Yes, I did, ma'am.
Tell me the circumstances surrounding you getting the car out of impound.
I called her about 2 weeks before it got out of impound, and I said, what are we going to do about the car? She says, well, if you bail it out, then you can take over the $800 payments. And I go, you want me to do that? She goes, I don't care.
Okay. Now, when he bailed the car out, when he got it out of impound December 18th, did you have any further conversation with him?
Yes, I did. I told him that I was going to fight for it because I wanted my car back.
So did you sue him in December?
No, I did not.
Did you sue him in January?
No, I did not.
Did you sue him in February?
No, I did not.
Did you sue him in March?
That's when I started getting everything going.
Did you sue him in March?
No, I did not.
What were you driving?
I had bought another car.
Right. How did I know that? How much did it cost you to get the car out of impound?
$805.
You have a receipt for that?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Let me see it, please.
It was supposed to actually cost $795, but they charged us an extra $15 for cleanup of glass because her and her boyfriend broke a bunch of glass outside.
$805. So we are deducting $805 from the $4,000. Now let's get to your counterclaim. You say that while together, she damaged 2 of your cars. You want to tell me about that, Miss Coleman?
I was pulling into the driveway, and his 66 Mustang doesn't have power steering, and I didn't turn it hard enough, and I dented the door of his other car.
Do you have a paid bill with regard to that?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I see it, please?
Yeah. Spoke on.
These are estimates. Was the work done on the car?
Those are receipts, actually, ma'am.
They're both preliminary estimates.
Ma'am, he did all the work himself.
It says, if you read in it, it says paid in cash, and it has a date that it was paid in cash. My father paid for it.
What, sir? Step up.
Your Honor, those are our copies of the original.
Who paid this money?
I did.
Well, let's see if this gentleman knows anything about this.
There was nothing wrong with the quarter panel.
Yes, good morning. This is Judge Judy Scheindlin. Who am I speaking to? Can you tell me what your job is there? You're a paint prepper. Okay. Do you work on most of the cars that come through there? Okay. I have Brad Denys, D-E-N-Y-S. Do you know him? Do you recall doing any work on a 1966 Ford Mustang and a 1992 Ford Mustang? You don't. If work was done on those 2 cars, you know, the old Mustangs, and it involved painting, that would have been your job. So you do all of that, okay? And you have not worked on either a 66 or a 92 Ford Mustang. No. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. They didn't paint your car there.
Yes, they did.
You know who was on the phone? The only person in the shop that does the paint prep work on cars. I'm going to dismiss without prejudice your counterclaim. The 4 months in car payments that you paid, you had the use of your car. You drove it.
Yes.
Pay for it. He's not going to pay for that. And I find that through your own negligence, you allowed your car to be driven by someone who had absolutely no reason to drive your car because they had a bad license.
Yes.
And in order to get the car out of the impound, he, in fact, had to pay $805 to do that.
I had the money to go down.
And I further find that you had no intention of getting the car out because you went and you bought yourself a new car. So I am deducting the $805 from the $4,000 that you put down as a down payment. What are you doing with this car now, Mr. Denys?
I drive it.
Good. So you put down for that car $3,195. That was your down payment. That you have to pay her back.
$1,500 of the dollars was towards tax. $1,500 also was toward a extended warranty, which I did not want.
Who cares? You got it. You bought it. And you're going to enjoy it. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,195. That's all.
Brent Hoffman is suing 22-year-old former inmate Karina Ondike for an unpaid loan and for false allegations of propositioning her for sex.
Come to order. All rise. Yes, this is case number 483 on the calendar in the matter Hoffman versus Ondike. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat, please.
Mr. Hoffman, it is your claim that you loaned the defendant some money. She needed a start. She had been incarcerated, and she came to you for help. And you helped her out by finding her a place to live, loaning her some money. According to you, she repaid you by not paying you back, and in addition, made some allegations against you, which caused you to have to retire early from your job. And you want to be compensated for that, too. The defendant says you were paid back the money by her boyfriend, and in addition, she never made false allegations against you. She only told the district attorney the truth. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. So, Ms. Ondike, what were you in jail for?
I was in jail for theft.
What kind of theft?
Shoplifting clothes.
Is that the first time you were in jail?
No.
How many times had you been in jail before?
I had been booked and released probably about 2 or 3 times before that.
For what?
Theft also.
Shoplifting?
Yes.
Anything else other than shoplifting?
No.
What about your boyfriend? Ever been arrested?
Yes.
For what?
For being with me while I was shoplifting.
So the two of you were a team of shoplifters?
No. No, he was not.
Uh-huh. Now, how long were you in jail for?
9 days.
How did you meet the plaintiff?
I met him through my roommate.
Your roommate who you were in jail with?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
I didn't have anywhere to go. I confided in her, and she introduced me to Brent, and he told me that he had a place for me to stay, and I had nowhere else to go.
What was his job in the jail?
He was a guard.
Okay. Now, Mr. Hoffman, how long were you a guard?
I've been with the county for 11 years.
Prior to that, what did you do?
I was with the state for 10 years.
Same capacity?
No, ma'am. I was an information officer there.
In the 11 years that you've been with the county as a guard, did you ever help a prisoner before?
I wrote a letter for one to the judge.
Other than that?
Other than that, nothing.
So what prompted you to do something for this young lady?
It was a spur of the moment, more or less, when I didn't know her. She was kept in another building, in a female wing. When I was introduced to her the first time, I basically saw someone that was scared, undernourished, just really down and out. I thought possibly just that I maybe could help and maybe make a difference.
So what did you do when she was released?
Picked her up, took her down, met Neil, my witness, and he went over the ground rules as far as where she was going to stay. It was in his apartment that was being empty.
His apartment was empty?
He was coming back into jail.
What do you mean he was coming back into jail?
He was arrested for driving after revocation. And it coincided that he was coming in when she was getting out.
So she was going to be living there by herself?
Correct.
Is that right so far?
Right.
And where was your boyfriend at this time?
He had his own place to stay.
All right. So how did you help her, Mr. Hoffman?
I got her a roof over her head. I was initially told that she was abused. She wanted to have a place. She couldn't go home because of her getting out of jail. She wasn't on good footing with her parents. Basically, she was telling me she had no place to go, no money, nothing.
How much money did you loan her?
$354.89. That was to cover her pawn ticket. She had a diamond graduation ring that meant a lot to her, that she would lose it if she didn't pay for that. We went and got that. I have the pawn ticket here. I also loaned her enough money to get tabs on her car, get the title transferred to her name so she could drive legally, and car insurance so that she could be up and running and try to find a job.
And according to your complaint, sir, she signed a note for that.
Yes, she did.
May I see it, please?
There's 2 notes. One is the original agreement, and the other one is what you paid to date.
What day were you released from jail?
Boy, it was months and months ago.
What day was she released?
August 27th.
Yeah.
8/27.
Yes.
Okay, you signed this note. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And then on October 14th, you signed another note that indicated that there was $250 due.
Right.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you made some payments to him.
Right. Slowly but surely.
Good. Now tell me about, sir, your early retirement.
On December 24th, I received a note from my administrator indicating that I was going to be asked to come down for an internal affairs hearing. Something in the back of my mind told me what it was about based on what had been going down the road with Karina.
What had been going down the road with Karina?
When she moved in, there were certain guidelines that she was asked to follow by Neil and by myself. And that was she clean her act up, get off drugs, get a job. In that process, she started to. She got a job. I helped her open up a bank account so she could have some money that she could fall back on. And that didn't last real long. And as soon as she got her first paycheck, that kind of started going down the road from there. She didn't like the job or whatever. She just couldn't show up on time because of the drugs. She freely admitted that she was using again. And that was one of the stipulations. It just kept getting worse and worse. She was back to stealing again.
How did you find out she was back to stealing again?
She stole something, and I asked her where it came from, and she said, I stole it. She admitted.
How did you see her during that time, sir?
At different times, I was asked by Neil to check on the apartment. And at different times, Karina would call me, too. She had a question about this, or she was upset about this, something with her boyfriend. She'd call me, and I'd stop after work or on my day off.
So what happened?
Basically, I took an early retirement. I resigned on my own accord instead of drawing it through more hearings and more hearings and more hearings.
What were the allegations that she made against
The
you?
allegations that she made was I hugged her, which I admitted to that. I did not make any sexual innuendos toward her. That was pretty much it that I'm aware of.
Okay, let's get to these allegations. How was the county contacted?
An attorney general contacted me and wanted to know what went down. They had heard that he had been harassing one of the inmates at the jail.
Not you?
Well, they wanted to know if he had been harassing me also. And I said, yes, he has made some sexual allegations towards me.
Like what?
Like, if I were to take a shower with him, I could totally forget about everything I ever owed him.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Retired prison guard Brent Hoffman says former inmate Karina Ondike owes for a loan he made after her release. Brent also claims Karina filed a false complaint with his supervisors, claiming he propositioned her for sex.
Okay. Did you see him after he made this, what you claim is an indecent proposal? Did you see him after that?
Yep.
How many times?
I can't count how many times. He had a key to Neil's apartment. He could come over whenever
After that occasion, did he ever make any other sexual references to you?
He just kept reminding me that if I did this with him, I could totally forget about it.
So he said it again?
Yeah.
How many times did he make that suggestion to you?
Probably twice after the first one.
But you saw him many, many times afterwards, according to you. Anything discussed on those other occasions?
I'd only see him for short times every time I would see him.
Mr. Hoffman, were there any other allegations, any other complaints that were made to Internal Affairs to the best of your knowledge, sir?
No.
How old are you?
59.
You understand that you could have gone through the entire process.
Yes, I could have. The entire process would have been long and drawn out. This way, by doing what I did, I receive a severance package and I get my full retirement.
Well, Mr. Hoffman, if you had gone through the entire administrative process, then we would have known whether there were any other allegations made or anything else. I don't. So you cannot be compensated for your early retirement, Mr. Hoffman. However, unless you have proof that you paid him the balance of this money, you still owe him $250. You have any proof that you paid him that $250?
I failed to get a receipt.
Failed to get a receipt, and you do have that you did pay to date 3 different payments as of October 14th. So you should have gotten a receipt.
Right.
Right. So you owe him $250. Mr. Hoffman, I don't know whether anything that this young lady says is true or not. I don't know that, sir. If it is not true, the phrase, no good deed goes unpunished, sort of comes to mind.
Yes, it does.
In any event. You are retired now? Going to go to work anyplace else?
I probably will.
Good. You have a pension from the state?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a reasonable pension?
It'll do.
It'll do. Good. Okay. Good luck, sir. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $250. That's all.
Thank you.
Parties are excused, miss. Step out.
The whole situation is just sick.
I tried to help someone and it just blew up in my face.
Never move in with people you don't know.
I'll still try to help people, but I'll approach it differently.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Thomas versus Flannery. Step forward.
19-year-old homemaker Amanda Thomas is suing her fiancé's father, 38-year-old auto mechanic Paul Flannery Sr., for the money she paid him to fix her car.
Miss Thomas, you and the defendant's son, I assume this is the defendant's son,
Yes.
are boyfriend and girlfriend.
Fiance.
According to your complaint, some time ago, the defendant agreed to fix your car, and you gave him money. Months went by, and finally, since the car wasn't fixed, you had it towed back to your residence where you were living. You want Mr. Flannery to give you back your money because he did not do what he said he was going to do to fix the car. Mr. Flannery says he did invest a lot of time and effort in the car, and his defense is you are really just a troublemaker. Is that your defense, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Would you stand up here, please? What's your first name?
Paul?
Paul, do you and Miss Thomas live together?
Yes.
Just the two of you, or do you live...
We have a child, a We have a 4-month-old. daughter.
So the 3 of you live together?
Yes.
Do you work?
Yes.
Do you work?
No. Oh, I'm a housewife.
Whose wife are you?
Housemaker.
A house fiancé.
House fiance.
Now, tell me about this car. What was wrong with it?
It had some motor problems. Mr. Flannery over here was, the agreement was he was to fix our motor, put paint on the car, and put an exhaust on the car. And if there was any money left over, he was to put tires on our car.
Is that your business, sir?
It's my field, yes.
Well, what do you do for a living?
I'm a mechanic, yeah, that's...
So you are in the business of
Yes.
fixing cars?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You were supposed to fix the motor, paint it, and put in an exhaust system.
That's basically true, but the agreement was more that I was gonna... This was more of a resurrection than a car repair. There was no transmission, driveline, parts thrown everywhere. The interior was all inside the car. I mean, this was a extensive project. This was not just a repair.
Now, did you have another car, or was this your only car?
We have a two-seater car. I was pregnant at the time, and he said he would get this car done in 3 months, so I would have a back seat for my child.
How much did you give him to fix the car?
I gave him $1,930, and I have a copy of that check.
Okay, he doesn't deny that you gave him the check.
Okay.
And when did you give him the car?
The check was written on May 18th, so he took the car probably 2 weeks after that.
And how long were you supposed to take to fix the car, sir?
There was no time limit put on this. When I talked to my son, the only statement that I made in regards to time was that it would be at least 6 months. I also told him...
Why was it going to take at least 6 months?
Well, because I work, pretty much full-time. I work every other Saturday. And when I do things like this, I'm not going to sacrifice my family. I have small children in the house and my wife, and I'm not going to take every minute that I have off just to do this vehicle. I mean, that was the understanding. This was something that was just going to be done over a period of time.
All right. When was the baby due?
November 5th.
And that's when you wanted the car. You wanted the car so that you
Before
had
then, yeah. It was supposed to be 3 months after I gave him the check, and he knew that we only had a two-seater car.
Okay. So what happened?
After the 3 months, we asked him what was going on with the car. He said the machine shop is booked up and, they're taking a little longer. Well, in December, we had gotten very impatient, and we asked him again. He said the machine shop is taking too long, so he decided that he was going to go ahead and put paint on the car and put tires on the car, Well, where's the motor? I called the machine shop. They said they've had the motor for a few months now, and if somebody would give him the money, he could get the motor done in 2 weeks.
Had you paid the machine shop for the motor?
No.
Why not?
Well, initially when I did this, we agreed on the amount. I knew the amount of money I had to work with. I was looking to spend in the $700 range on the motor itself so that I could afford all these other things.
What other things?
Well, as far as the paint and body, the putting back together what was torn apart.
How much did you have to spend in parts, Mr. Flannery, other than the $700 that you say you needed for the motor?
I probably spent $300 or so on paint and body supplies.
Okay, and that's all the money you spent on the car?
Other than wheels and tires that I purchased for the car also.
Well, how much was that?
That was about $600.
You have receipts for that?
I do have receipts for that.
Let me see the receipts from all the things that you did on the car.
Your Honor, I would like to see those receipts also.
Me too.
No, I do not have receipts for the paint and supplies.
Your Honor, they
I
were
only
in
have
his
for the
garage.
one time.
I know because I work with him all the time. He told me when he did the car, the paint job's not going to cost anything because I have the stuff laying around the house to do it.
Paint.
We can get the motor going for your son, sure, no problem. Guess what? It's not.
The machine shop also said that it's going to cost $1,500 for us to get our motor out.
You can't run a car without a motor.
Exactly.
You can run it without paint, but not without a motor.
Exactly.
When did you finally take the car back?
December 31st, we had it towed, and I have a receipt for the tow.
So why didn't you just give them their money back?
Well, I could have given them back, I suppose, a certain amount, but I have, like I said, the amount in wheels and tires, the paint and body.
The paint and body you did, sir,
also,
and that you did for your son, I assume.
Well, the whole thing was done for my son. This was not a...
So then don't count on the things, the paint and body you had, because that's your business. Now, you said you put new tires on the car?
Yeah, and wheels.
Well,
it had mismatched wheels. And...
Let me see.
Your Honor, that receipt is from his place of employment.
Let me see. Let me see. Were these used tires, sir?
No, the tires were brand new, but the wheels weren't used.
And the tires you paid $64 a piece for?
Yes.
Tire company. Do you work for them?
Yes.
What's the list price of these tires?
I would have no idea that. I'm not involved in sales.
Is this the wholesale price for tires?
No, it's cost plus 10% or whatever.
Show me your check to them, sir, for $591.
I didn't pay it in check. I paid them in cash.
I don't believe you, Mr. Flannery. I don't believe you at all. You have to give them back their money, sir. What I don't understand, Mr. Flannery, is if you were going to do this for your son, because they needed a car because they were going to have a baby, as ridiculous as that is for a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old to have a baby, then you should have done it for nothing.
Well, I was doing it for nothing.
No,
The money was only for whatever it took to get the car back into...
But you didn't get it into shape. It didn't work 8 months later.
Your Honor, that just was not part of the deal. I mean, my son and I
They
sat
needed
at
the
length.
cars so that they would have a back seat of the car to put the baby in.
That point wasn't even brought up at the time of the agreement. I mean,
Mr. Flannery, you think that these two people have a lot of money?
No.
They don't have any money. And if they have a two-seater car, so if they want to travel with their baby, you know, you don't have to discuss it. The parent knows. My kids are having a baby, so I'm going to take all my spare time and see to it that by the time the baby comes, they'll have a car with a back seat.
Your
That's what
Honor,
parents do.
I gave him the money and I told him nothing else was important other than the fact that I wanted the car to move. He knew that. He can't say that he didn't know that. It's a bold-faced lie. I told him, we gotta have this car on the road. I don't care what it looks like. She needs to go to work. I need to go to work. We can't survive.
None of that was ever even said or brought up.
Well, why do you think that they took whatever little bit of money they had and gave it to you?
They wanted me to make a decent car out of it.
So then why didn't you say, let me have the car. I'll see how little I can have it done for. When I'm finished with it, you'll pay me for the parts, instead of taking the money from them up front.
Well, Your Honor, we're not exactly, rich either. And
Neither are they.
I know, and we were just, we live paycheck to paycheck like everybody else.
But so far, you didn't expend any money. You
And-
were sitting with their money. Most parents would do it and say, I'll take care of it myself, and I'll struggle, even though you did a foolish thing by making this family before you were supposed to, before you were fully cooked. But certainly, if you have their money for a year, you don't buy a motor for a year. Car can't run without a motor. You got to give them back their money. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,930. That's all.
Parties are excused. May step out.